This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel tonight. NXT for July 12th, 2017 from Full Sail University. Bobby Fish versus Aleister Black. The debut of Bobby Fish tonight on NXT. Also, the main event scene, Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor versus Tucker Knight and Otis Dojovic of Heavy Machinery, man. Also, Bobby Roode, Johnny Gargano returned, and we seen a Mae Young Classic qualifying match all on NXT tonight. Now, by the sounds of that, you're probably thinking, wow, it's a pretty eventful night of NXT. Didn't feel like it. Didn't look like it. Didn't sound like it. Full Sail, please. If you guys have the privilege and the pleasure of having probably the best brand in WWE right now perform in front of your eyes, I would love if you guys actually, inject some energy into that show. If there's one thing that needs to happen, and I don't know why it hasn't happened yet, I don't understand why it hasn't happened yet. There's been rumors going around earlier this year that NXT was going to go live. In fact, that was supposed to happen this summer. If there's one thing that I want to have happen for this brand, it's that NXT goes live. I can't stand it. We need live crowds. We need the live atmosphere. We need the live feeling. I understand WWE does everything taped weeks in advance. I know they do voiceovers for the announcers. You can easily tell when they're in the arena and when they're not, and when they're overdubbing voices for like promotions or storyline purposes, whatever. It needs to be live. For the main thing, it needs to be live because of the crowd. These sets of tapings, and I know you guys see it. I see it, you see it, we all see it, we all feel it, we all hear it. When these sets of tapings exceed 3-4 shows in a row, and you guys got crowds sitting there for 4 weeks straight, and it's the same fucking group of people, meaning that they sat through 4 hours plus of NXT TV tapings, of course you're going to get exhausted. Of course you're going to get tired. Of course, you're going to be like, enough is enough. I want to get the fuck out of here. I wish it was live. You bring in a group of people, you buy your ticket, you sit down, you order your beer, you order your popcorn, you watch wrestling for an hour, and you go the fuck home. And in that 1 hour, you got energy. Not for these fucking people. Dead. For the entire show, dead. Johnny Gargano's music hits, and dead. Right? Aleister Black's music hits, and dead. Tag team title match in your main event, dead. Go to a wrestling show, I want to hear a wrestling crowd. These smart crowds in NXT, they do the 2 sweet, right, for every 2 count. Or they do, when the ring announcer, Mike Rome, does, and this match is scheduled for 1 fall, and you're supposed to do 1 fall and chant back. They didn't do that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, I don't know what's going on, man. NXT needs to be live, for sure. And I hope that's at the list of priorities going into 2018, no question. But it definitely needs to be live. The crowd tonight was absolutely dead for whatever reason. I don't know why. But we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully our wishes come true in 2018. As for NXT, the only piece of news that I have, and if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, I am going to give you 5 seconds right now within this show to back the fuck out or skip ahead. Skip ahead about a minute. But the only piece of news that I have, because I like incorporating NXT news in the NXT reviews, is that TakeOver Brooklyn is pretty much set with the main event, as if we didn't know already. I've been saying it for fucking months now. And we have a new debuting individual. We had Bobby Fish this week. Was Kyle O'Reilly going to come on in? Seems like it. Kyle O'Reilly debuted at tonight's TV tapings for NXT at Full Sail University. So Red Dragon is now in NXT. Whether they are a team or not, I don't know. Bobby Fish went up against Aleister Black tonight. Kyle O'Reilly went up against Aleister Black in tonight's set of TV tapings. Whenever that airs, I don't know. But all we know is that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are under contract with NXT. The main event for TakeOver Brooklyn 3 is exactly what I've been saying it would be, so there's no surprise here. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode. Brooklyn, Barclays Center, SummerSlam weekend, NXT Championship. All set. All set. And you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think Bobby Roode should lose the NXT Championship. I don't think Bobby Roode should lose the NXT Championship, at least yet. I don't think it's time for him to make the main roster. I think Bobby Roode is perfect where he is. Drew McIntyre, they really haven't done anything with him. He hasn't gotten any big wins yet. It's a lot of squash matches. You know, he's fighting Killian Dane next week, which obviously he's going to win, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be getting the title shot. And we'll talk about that and how that came to be tonight. But Drew McIntyre has been kind of cold. They haven't done anything with him yet. We know what he's capable of. We know how brutal and fucking great he can be in the ring. I think this match with Bobby Roode is going to really be something special at TakeOver Brooklyn. But he hasn't done anything of great importance yet. So just by that fact alone, depending on what they do with the build here and what he says and how he interacts with Bobby Roode, I would not be too quick to give him the championship yet. Yes, we all want to see Bobby Roode on the main roster. Yes, we want to see fucking Glorious on the main roster. I'd love to see Bobby Roode versus John Cena. I'd love to see Bobby Roode versus Nakamura again for sure. I'd love to see Bobby Roode versus AJ Styles. Bobby Roode versus Sami Zayn. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. I'd love to see Bobby Roode versus anybody on SmackDown Live. But it's not time. It's not time. I think WrestleMania. I think you treat it like a Nakamura. Right? Nakamura debuted the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I think you do the same thing with Bobby Roode. I say Drew McIntyre gets at least 2 matches out of Bobby Roode. He loses the first one. He lobbies for a rematch. He beats him at Survivor Series weekend. TakeOver wherever. I don't know where it's going to be this year, but TakeOver Survivor Series weekend. And then Bobby Roode will, I guess, make the main roster in 2018 whenever WWE wants to. You know, they could do another match if they want, because Bobby Roode will be scheduled another rematch. You know, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Then you're going to have Adam Cole come in, I'm sure. Then you're going to have Aleister Black making a claim for it because he's too good not to give a World Championship title match too. So NXT's main event scene will be fine with or without Bobby Roode. He's eventually going to make the main roster, but I would not be too quick to give Drew McIntyre the world title yet. So those are your spoilers there. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn. And Kyle O'Reilly is making his debut at the next set of TV tapings. Whether he's paired with Bobby Fish, I don't know. I would certainly hope so, because the NXT Tag Team division is in certain dire need of help. And we got another tag team making their debut called the Street Profits. Now, I don't know who this team consists of. I do know that it's D'Angelo Dawkins, I believe his name is, or Angelo Hawkins, or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. He's some fucking, some idiot from the Performance Center. I don't know. Somebody that's barely been on television. But it's him and somebody else that I don't know. But I'm waiting for outcry of how discriminatory this gimmick is. It reminded me of Crime Time, or a lesser version of Crime Time. So the NXT Tag Team division could certainly, use some help. So I'm assuming they're pairing guys together and giving them some matching outfits and some nice theme, right? And whatever, making them look like a legit tag team. You got Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish coming in. You still got Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, who, I would like to see more of, to be quite honest with you. Heavy Machinery. You got the Authors of Pain. Then you got TM61 due back any week now. Things could be looking up for the NXT Tag Team division. That's a nice solid set of teams there. Red Dragon, obviously, they're credible. We know what they can do. I called their fucking match against LAX last month, so it was pretty cool. I seen what they were like firsthand. First time seeing them in action, and I'm calling their match. So I know what these guys are capable of. The Street Profits, I don't know what the fuck they're going to be about. They're going to be debuting next week. So WWE looks to be trying to work on its weaknesses right now with NXT, and their main weakness is their tag team division, because after Heavy Machinery, there really is nobody else. You got Sanity as well. Sanity's there. So NXT working, man. NXT's looking promising. It's looking fun. It's exciting. A lot of new names coming in. A lot of new free agents coming in. We're still waiting on Adam Cole. Baby. I don't know what's going on. So, we'll see what's going on. But NXT, man, I told you, give it time. It will be the place that you want to be. It'll be the brand you want to watch. And NXT's looking mighty, mighty fun right now. So that's all I can ask for. Well, like I said, tonight's show really wasn't all that, man. Quickly to go over this, because I honestly don't want to be sitting here all night. Aleister Black, again, I'll say it every time he comes out. Guy's money. Guy is money. And the one thing that I noticed and then heard tonight, I'm talking about it with the live stream, because I streamed on Twitch. If you guys are not following me, twitch.tv/JD from New York. It's fun over there, man. We talk about NXT and we give our live reactions and live opinions to what we're watching. Aleister Black is weighing in at 205 pounds. 205 pounds. Now, you look at Aleister Black. Would you look at Aleister Black and immediately put him in the Cruiserweight division because he's 205 pounds? Or do you see this guy competing against an AJ Styles or a Sami Zayn or a Seth Rollins or a Kevin Owens? You know? This is where WWE fucked up. You know, the 205 Live shtick is really pigeonholing all the talent. You know, Finn Balor, I mentioned this on the stream. Finn Balor's what, 190 pounds? He's well below 205 pounds. Would you put Finn Balor in the Cruiserweight division? Fuck no. I have him competing with the AJ Styles and the John Cenas and the Roman Reigns. That's what I would do with Finn Balor, right? So if Finn Balor is able to compete with those guys, and you look at the Cruiserweights, and any logical human being can decipher what's going on here, why can't Neville be doing that? Why can't I see a Neville versus an AJ Styles? Or a Neville versus a Seth Rollins? Or a Neville versus a Kevin Owens? What's the difference? Why are you pigeonholing these guys? I can see the same thing with Aleister Black. Why would you put him in the Cruiserweight division? I wouldn't. He goes right to the main roster. He goes right to a brand, and he goes right to the fucking top. That's what you do with an Aleister Black. Point being is I'm trying to say WWE needs to really rework the entire Cruiserweight division. Right now, it's nothing but pigeonholing talent. It's a fucking failure. You're limiting who can enter and who can exit. That's why Austin Aries left. WWE was like, no, 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 no. You're a Cruiserweight. You got to be in the Cruiserweight division. Really? With the amount of talent that Austin Aries possesses, you want to pigeonhole your talent to one brand? Give me a fucking break, dude. Like Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit. How many of those guys held world championships? And they were Cruiserweights. Point proven. Don't pigeonhole your talent at all. Then people were telling me, oh, JD, what about Johnny Gargano? No, Johnny Gargano I would not put in the Cruiserweight division. I would not put those guys anywhere near the Cruiserweight division. The Cruiserweight division should be open to anybody. Anybody. It shouldn't even be a fucking show. It shouldn't even be a show. It should be a division on a brand. Why is it its own show? Fucking stupid. You know, thought if it sounded good coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic, this is going to be a great shot of adrenaline for the brand. Now look at it. Nobody wants to watch it. Nobody cares for it. Nobody wants to see any of the talent presented on that show. You know, I see Cedric Alexander and I look at someone who could challenge for the IC title. I see Cedric Alexander and I see someone that could challenge for the US title. Why do you got to pigeonhole someone like Cedric Alexander with the amount of talent that man possesses and just, you know what, you are 205 Live and that's it. I don't like that at all, bro. Don't like that at all. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it's something that was discussed in the live stream. And if you guys want to join the live stream, this is what we talk about. You know, just letting you guys know. Either way, Aleister Black versus Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish looks impressive. Guy's 37 years old, 38 years old. He's up there, 15-year veteran. He brought Aleister Black to his toughest match to date. So Bobby Fish getting to know the WWE way. First match in, Aleister Black, Black Mass, which was fucking brutal as fuck. Put Fish away at 11 minutes. Aleister Black, man, he's got some devastating knees. Now, they're not Kenny Omega type knees, and he doesn't do it often like Kenny Omega, but still, brutal nonetheless. Black Mass puts Bobby Fish down, 1, 2, 3. Bobby Fish, very impressive in his debut. Don't know why they put him against Aleister Black, but Kyle O'Reilly is going to suffer the same fate. Aleister Black and Kyle O'Reilly taped tonight at Full Sail University, so there might be a mini storyline there. These guys might have something in common to kind of bring them together. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly hopefully will bring together what is known as Red Dragon in NXT. Either way you look at it, Aleister Black is a fucking stud. Is an absolute fucking stud. In this match, there's one thing I want to mention here. I started laughing at it. Aleister Black did a springboard moonsault, flipped up in the air, and then went right down into his sitting position, Indian style. Camera was zoomed in on his face. He tried to hold back a fucking smile so badly. It was so fucking blatant. He was sitting in the middle of the ring, Indian style. The camera zoomed in on him. He wanted to smile so bad, but he had to keep that stoic face. So Aleister Black's having fun, man. He's going places. He's one of my favorite WWE talents in all the company right now. Good stuff coming from Aleister Black. He beats Bobby Fish with the Black Mass tonight in 11 minutes. Clearly the best match of the night. Cassius Ohno versus Hideo Itami is coming, but tonight we had a recap of what Cassius Ohno did to Hideo Itami and vice versa last week. Ohno said that he's tired of Itami blaming everyone for his problems since Chicago. And Ohno is done talking. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll see what happens. Needless to say, they are headed towards a match at TakeOver, I believe. Or if WWE wants to do it sooner, or, you know, they don't think that it's worthy of TakeOver, we have to see. But either way, these guys are headed for a one-on-one match. Depending on when it is, we will have to wait and see. The Street Profits are coming. There was a promo for the Street Profits. I believe this is a new tag team coming in that's very reminiscent of Crime Time, but not as blatant as Crime Time. So we'll see what happens with that. The Velveteen Dream was trying to walk out of Full Sail University, and he was wanting to be interviewed by one of the female correspondents in NXT, which I don't remember any of their names because there's just so fucking many of them. And he walked out. He said, no, it's not the time or the place. And he walks out. You're trying to interview the Velveteen Dream? And walks away. Mae Young Classic qualifying match. Vanessa Bourne, who had beautiful hair, by the way, versus Jamie Hashi. And this match went 2 minutes. It looked like it was the first match for either one of these women. Very slow, very sloppy. Not really a good representation of what we could expect to see in the Mae Young Classic. Vanessa Bourne, I believe, was a Phoenix, Arizona, or a Phoenix Cardinals, or Arizona Cardinals, or Phoenix Suns. One of the fucking Phoenix teams. I don't remember what Mauro Ronaldo said, because you know he's a fucking encyclopedia of knowledge. Vanessa Bourne was a cheerleader for one of the major sports teams in Phoenix, and she ended up winning. And I'm glad that she won because she looked the better of the two. She looked a little bit more inclined to a wrestling ring than Jamie Hashi. And she won with a spinning belly-to-back suplex. Hooked the leg, 1, 2, 3. 1 minute and 48 seconds. Vanessa Bourne wins. Did I mention she had nice hair? Yeah. That was pretty much what I got out of that match. Vanessa Bourne advances in the Mae Young Classic. Nothing special there. Very, very green and not a very good representation of what we are going to see in the Mae Young Classic. Last week, they showed a video package of Sanity attacking Drew McIntyre in the parking lot. Wolf said that Drew's time is running out, and Killian Dane is staking claim to Drew's desires about being the NXT champion. So, we get Bobby Roode in William Regal's office, and he's talking about the new #1 contender. Roode actually takes charge and becomes GM and says that he suggests Dane versus McIntyre for the #1 contendership. So William Regal, and I couldn't stop laughing at this, man. William Regal goes with it and says, you just want to see these two guys beat the shit out of each other, so it's easy pickings for you. And then Bobby Roode's like, oh, no. Why would you even think that of me, Mr. Regal? You know me better than that, Mr. Regal. How could you do that to me, Mr. Regal? You know, Bobby Roode was like fucking master bullshit artist. I couldn't stop laughing, man. Bobby Roode is fucking classic. He's great. Such a great fucking heel is Bobby Roode. So we got Killian Dane versus Drew McIntyre for the #1 contendership next week. Clearly, you guys know who wins. Shocker, Drew McIntyre, being that the spoilers were leaked today. And, oh, JD, why are you leaking the spoilers, man? Who cares? You knew what was coming anyway. Johnny Gargano comes back to a dead crowd when the music went off. Let's go, Johnny, Johnny, wrestling. You know, good. At least you gave the guy fucking something to come back to. He came out with the old DIY theme. After this entire thing, he had new music, which I did not like at all. I don't know why they're taking the DIY theme away from him. It fits him better. This one had an all-female vocalist who was awful singing it, and it just didn't fit him. So whatever the case may be, there were rumors going around that some musician was like, oh, I'm writing new music for WWE wrestler Johnny Gargano. Hopefully we hear it soon. That incited a heel turn, or a rumor of a heel turn for Ciampa. Right? Are they breaking up? This one just tweeted that Gargano's having new music. Is there going to be a breakup? So the tweet was deleted. We've seen Chicago. What was rumored happened. And now we hear the new theme music tonight. So look at that. Everything was right on point. Gargano says that he's been thinking about what Ciampa did to him over and over and over again. He just can't get over it. He's ready to move forward because he can't control what happened, but he can control how he reacts to them. TakeOver Brooklyn is coming up, and Johnny has to be on that show. And more importantly, he has to get back to being Johnny Wrestling. I like Johnny Gargano, man. Johnny Gargano has the build. Johnny Gargano has it within him. And WWE has Johnny Gargano. If they want to use him, he could be. He could be the next Daniel Bryan. If they want to get him to that point. Because he's amazing. Great babyface. Love him in the ring. His selling is top-notch. He's believable. He's got that underdog fucking fighting from behind mentality down to a fucking perfection. There's Johnny Gargano. They got the next Daniel Bryan waiting for them right there. If they want to do that with Johnny Gargano. That remains to be seen. But I said the same thing about Sami Zayn, and now Sami Zayn's selling fucking Sonic slushies with fucking Ty Dillinger. Seriously. So, you know, maybe, Johnny Gargano can join them and they could be a fucking stable. The Sonic Salesman. You know? Double S. No, I like the chocolate chip. You like the chunky monkey. I like the rocky road. Come on, man. Whatever. Whatever, man. 3 losers. 3 losers. Well, 2 losers right now because they got Ty Dillinger, the fucking -10 Ty Dillinger, fucking losing to the WWE champion in 5 minutes, mostly during commercial on SmackDown Live. Sami Zayn's getting fucking love lessons over here from Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis. The fuck, man? What's next for Johnny Gargano? Who the fuck knows? Finally here, Authors of Pain versus Heavy Machinery. This was fun. 11 minutes, crowd didn't give a shit, but it was fun to see. Otis Dojovic is a fucking beast. Now, I don't know who it was. I think it was Razor. They went nose to nose. Clothesline by Razor, didn't even move Otis. Clothesline again by Razor, didn't even move Otis. Back and forth they go, nose to nose. Otis is like, come on, show me what you got. So he clotheslines Razor, and I believe Nigel McGuinness says that was the first time he was knocked off his feet by sheer power. So Razor stood toe-to-toe with somebody his own size, and he went down and he lost the battle. But this was pretty much academic, man. Tucker Knight was getting his ass kicked here. You know, Tucker Knight was getting his ass kicked. They were going back and forth on Tucker Knight, double teamed by Akam and Razor. And then all of a sudden he tags in, hot tag to Otis Dojovic. Everything's going crazy. Belly to belly overhead suplex on Akam. Unbelievable. They, I believe Tucker Knight slammed Otis Dojovic on top of Razor. Tucker goes for a power slam, gets 2 on Razor. Akam breaks it up. And then all of a sudden we see the last chapter, which looked absolutely fucking brutal on Otis Dojovic. Brutal fucking move. And that was a 1-2-3. They retained the tag team championships. I was surprised that they did this match now. I was surprised that the Heavy Machinery team lost so clean. I figured this would be TakeOver Brooklyn. Maybe they don't think Heavy Machinery is ready yet. But I'll tell you who they do think is ready, NXT officials. Sanity. Post-match, Sanity comes out. They start staring at the Authors of Pain from the stage as they're celebrating their title win over Heavy Machinery. All of a sudden, paper starts falling from the sky. And apparently, it was ripped pages from Paul Ellering's Book of Destruction. And you got Alexander Wolf on stage eating the fucking pages. Nikki Cross is laughing hysterically. Killian Dane is just staring into the ring. So I don't know what's going on. We haven't seen Eric Young yet for this set of TV tapings. He should be back because his mother passed away during this particular set of TV tapings. Hope all is well with Eric Young and his family. But if we are going towards a Sanity versus Authors of Pain match for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, not really something I am all that excited about. So I don't understand that. I would have much rather saved Heavy Machinery versus the Authors of Pain and give those guys a little bit more time to get a great story told in the ring compared to giving the match to Sanity. So I don't understand that. At this point, I see nobody beating the Authors of Pain. At all. In fact, if TM61's coming back, I would have TM61 be built up, and I would have the babyface underdogs fighting back, beating the Authors of Pain. That should have been reserved for DIY, but they wanted to break up DIY. They found greater value in them being separated. So TM61 should be back any month now. I think Shane Thorne should be ready to go. I would love to see TM61 versus the Authors of Pain and TM61 be catapulted into that babyface team and have them do the impossible and beat the Authors of Pain. I think it would be great to reestablish them on the roster and get their name out there and finally get the Authors of Pain with an L in the losing column. So we'll see what happens, man. But the Authors of Pain right now, I don't see anybody beating them at all. Very dominant tag team. Fun match here. Crowd didn't give a shit. But the Authors of Pain with the last chapter beats Heavy Machinery, and Sanity comes down, starts eating the Book of Destruction by Paul Ellering, and the show goes off the air. Or the Book of Dominance is what the notes say. The Book of Dominance, whatever. I like the Book of Destruction better. So that is that. Authors of Pain retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. And that is your NXT review. That is your NXT review, man. Thank you guys so much for everything. I will be reviewing, well, not reviewing. I will be recording Off the Script tomorrow for Friday. Make sure you guys tune in to that. I don't know what I'm recording tomorrow. Hopefully something. Thursday is usually an off day. I usually been taking Thursday off, but we'll see what happens, man. If I hear any news at all, I will definitely report it. I'll give you an Off the Script extra. You guys will see it in your sub boxes, hopefully. I need to get up Off the Script Retro. That needs to be completed this week for sure. Off the Script this Friday. I did download Fire Pro Wrestling. I want to get some gameplay for you guys. Looks fun. I tried it. I downloaded it for Steam. Looks fun as hell. I'm going to get you guys some gameplay for that. That should be fun up until WWE 2K18 comes out. But other than that, man, nothing else is going on right now. Slow news week. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow with something. Until then, follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel down below with that bell for the notification. Make sure you guys got the bell turned on. And Audible, audibletrial.com / off the script. And then we got barbershopwindow.com / off the script, JD17, and check out for 20% off. And patreon.com / JDFROMNY206. I'll see you guys tomorrow hopefully with something. If not, I'll see you guys on Friday for Off the Script. Talk to you later.